What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. Guys, if you don't follow me on social media, first of all, why the fuck don't you follow me on social media? Second of all, guys, the new Bluon app 2.0 is absolutely amazing. Guys, Bluon delivery is the easiest, most simple thing you will ever see when it comes to our industry. I have tried it. I'll show you videos. You can order whatever you want. I'm talking like a compressor, a condenser fan motor, a blower motor, some truck stock, some capacitors, some contactors, whatever you want. And you can literally have it delivered right to you. No more of those days of, being in the middle of doing something and saying, oh, fuck, I don't have this motor or I don't have this part. Now I got to go 30 minutes to a supply house. Like, shit. No, guess what? Those days are over. Bluon has got you fucking covered. Bluon delivery, they will deliver it to you. You keep working, do what you got to do. They're going to drop it off right to your door, and then you can track it like you just ordered a fucking cheesesteak, okay? Just like you order on Uber Eats or DoorDash, you can see the truck coming to you. Oh, it's been picked up. Oh, they're on the way, 2 minutes away, 4 minutes away, whatever. You can see it. And the drivers have all been awesome. And their delivery, they have sedans all the way up to tractor trailers. Okay, so this is what I mean when they can deliver anything. They can deliver systems to you. Whatever you can possibly have delivered in our industry, Bluon Delivery can deliver it to you. Guys, I'm serious. Check it out. I've been messing with it for the last week or so since it went live. And it's been fucking awesome. I love everything about it. It's a total game changer. So go check it out. Bluon 2.0. It is absolutely amazing. Guys, my friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, you guys know my love for Yellow Jacket. 20-something years in the trade. My first set of gauges my dad ever got me were Yellow Jacket. So it's something that's near and dear to my heart. You guys know that I'm honest. I don't beat around the bush. I get it. Yellow Jacket is not the flashiest. When they come out, it's not like, oh my God, look at this screen, or you can change the pump while flipped upside down, kissing your own ass. No, they don't do those goofy things. But I will say this, they make tools that are dependable, and that's what I care about. When I buy a tool to do a specific task, when I take it out of the box, the crate, the case, whatever it is, I want it to do what it's supposed to do, and that's what my Yellow Jacket tools do. Okay, the combustion analyzer does exactly what it's supposed to do. That recovery machine, the turbo recovery, that thing is badass. You can ask some of my techs. And then the Y-Jack Mano, that thing stays in my bag and a bunch of our techs' bags because you should be checking duct pressure or static pressure. In the wintertime, you should be checking gas pressure. That thing is little. It's small. It fits right in your bag. There's no excuse to not do your job. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. So all I say, guys, is some of that summer money you're about to make when you're going to go buy some tools, just give Yellow Jacket a look. That's all that I say. I don't try to persuade anybody to buy anything. I just say check them out. If there's something you like, then obviously take a shot on it. I absolutely love their products. I will say this, that P51 870, their digital manifold, I have beat the living piss out of that thing over the last couple of years, leaving it out in the rain. Chucked it off a roof. I've left it in the snow. I'm talking all kinds of things. And every time I hit the power button, it turns on. It's not the flashiest. Maybe it doesn't have the screen that the S-Mans have. It doesn't have maybe the distance or whatever it is as the Testos. But guess what? That thing will take a fucking beating and keep turning on every single time. And as far as I'm concerned, that's half the fucking battle. So check out my friends over at Yellow Jacket. 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Let's get on with the pledge. Got an awesome show for you tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Five, four, three, two, one, go.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil Cavey Jr., here on another hump day, another Wednesday, and another great show for you, man. It's been an awesome week so far. Well, for some things, it was a rough weekend doing some things, but you guys know what I got going on. It is what it is. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But if you didn't see some of my social media posts, I got a package from my friends over at RLS that I want to give a shout. Mr. Paul over there. I think Paul's last name is Schubert. Yeah, Paul. Paul the Boss is what I call him. Is the president over at RLS Rapid Locking Systems. And they sent me one of their tools and the jaw set for refrigeration press tool. And I have a big 8-unit commercial job. It's normal split systems that I'm going to test this thing out. I can't wait. So I want to give a shout out to Paul and all the people over at RLS. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sending that out to me. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to put it to use. But guys, I got an awesome show for you tonight, man. And, you know, I love this because it's going full circle. Me and the guests were having this conversation off screen, and I started doing HVAC Uncensored for technicians. I wanted to give back to the techs, my fellow brothers and sisters in the field, doing the same thing that I was doing. At the same time, I wanted to make myself better, learn from people. And, you know, if I had something to share, then I would share it with those other people as well. And I've gotten to meet so many amazing people, a lot of people that I, consider good friends now because of this show. It's awesome when people who are listeners reach out to me and I'm able to have them on the show and able to hear their stories. It means the world to me because people who download this podcast, who watch this podcast, are the reason I get to keep doing this. And I am forever grateful to be able to do this as a little side job. The fact the podcast earns money, I get to go on trips and stuff like that. I get to do that because of you guys who watch the show and listen to the show. And it's awesome. And I want to make this clear that anyone can come on this show. Okay? As long as you have a story to tell, you can come on. I want to hear your story. You don't have to be an influencer with thousands of followers or, some company. I just want to make sure that people know that. I mean, obviously come on with a story, don't come on and just be like, I like HVAC, But long story short, the guest we have tonight is somebody who listens to the show. He reached out to me and said, hey, man, I love the podcast. Me and some of my guys I work with are going back and listening to old episodes. I would love to come on and share my story. I'm newer in the industry. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I would be honored and love to have you on. So, damn it, that's what we have tonight. So, guys, please help me and give a warm welcome and introduce one of our fellow brothers in the trade, Mr. Jordan. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Yeah, of course. Your last name is Austin, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay, I didn't want to fuck it up, so that's why I just went first name.
It's happened my whole life. You're good.
Yeah, no, I've been called a lot of things. My fault, real fast. Some of these people in the chat, I'm sorry I didn't give you guys a shout out real fast. Mr. Rookie, what's up, brother? Rookie's a prime example. Rookie's become one of my really, really good friends because of this podcast. Mr. Jason Johnson. Let's see, Mr. Jared. I'm not going to butcher your last name either. What's up, my man? Mr. HVAC Blogger. You got to come on the show, brother. HVAC Blogger. You need to come on too, man. Mr. HVAC Teacher. Jimmy Jim. What's up, pork chop? Mr. Kraus. What is up, my man? I think I got everybody that I see as of right now. If I missed somebody, I am sorry. Valentino. What is up, brother? How you doing, my man? Scott's only in it for the money. Yeah, if he's in it for the money, then he's kind of dumb because he doesn't get paid well. All serious, dude. Rookie does so many things for me for free. And when I send things out, everybody else gets things sent, but sometimes his get forgotten. So that just shows you that Scott's a true friend, man. He does things for absolutely nothing. And Miss Jennifer Manzo. Hello, hello, hello. All right, sorry. Let's get on with this show, man. So I guess let everybody know. I guess we'll start off with your name, where you're located, and then how long you've been in the trade, my man.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Jordan. I'm in Indiana, kind of centrally located in between Indy and Chicago, real rural area. And I've been in the trade. This is my third year in the trade.
Nice, 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 nice. Let me ask you this. What got you into the trade? So you said you're a first generation tech, which is awesome. I love to hear that. What made you choose this path? Because sometimes it's kind of odd for people who are first generation.
Yeah, for sure. Out of high school, I didn't go to college or anything. My family cousins owned a lock shop, so I worked there for a little bit, and it was fine. It was a job right out of high school. But a couple of years after that, I realized, this is dead end. I'm not going to advance. I'm not going to be able to do much with this. It's kind of already picked out who was going to, move up in the company when the owners retired and stuff. I was good at school, but I knew I didn't really want to go to college. So at that point, I'd heard about the trades, but I hadn't really done any like trade work or anything. So really, I just thought, what the heck? I'm going to give this a try and just see what happens. Worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I'll move on and find something else. But luckily, it's worked out great for me. And, so far I've made a good career out of it and hopefully a lot left to make out of it.
That's awesome. So did you go to trade school?
No, I did not go to trade school. Nope.
Cool.
Yeah. I rode around with one of the owners of the company that I work at, and we do a lot of on-the-job training, and then they send us to a lot of classes and trainings to the manufacturers that we sell and different classes that'll pop up around us. We'll go to a lot of those.
That's awesome because we've talked about trade school on here a million times. And like my buddy Jimmy in here, HVAC teacher, his school's doing it right. And there's some out there doing it right, a lot aren't. And there's always that debate to go to school, to not go to school. So a lot of these companies won't hire guys without 5 years experience, but they have no way to get 5 years experience. So that's awesome that your company, was able to take you in and, teach you. Because we do the same thing at Beltway. So that's awesome. I love hearing that about your company. Sure. In the state of Indiana, do you guys have licensing like apprentice master or journeyman master or no?
Through the unions, you can do that. The company I'm at, we're not union. So the company is licensed and we work under, you can have so many guys under the company license. But you can, union, you can be apprentice, journeyman, and then master, I think, is the top one through the union.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, so, and I've said this a million times, I'll say it again. It's crazy. Until I started doing this podcast, I didn't know that there's only like 18 out of all the states that even require licensing. So my state does. So I have a master's license in the state of Maryland, and you can reciprocate to others. But it's funny when you hear some of these states that don't. But it's good to see people still doing things the right way because Pennsylvania is the closest to me. And I know some people, I won't speak for the state. I would never do that. But I know some people in Pennsylvania who are hacks. Like they do horrible work because they can, and there's no standard for them to meet, it's pathetic, but they're also shitty people too.
For sure.
So that's cool that your company does that. So you were telling me off air that you guys are like 50-50. You do a little bit of everything now?
Yeah. So mainly we do residential and commercial, a little bit of some light industrial stuff. So our company branched off last year and opened up 2 other branches to try and spread out the work. And, guys that live closer to these calls that we run, that, it's closer to their home. It makes sense to open up a branch up there and have them work close to home. With that move, I do more commercial stuff now than residential, but it's still a pretty good balance. I can go from working on rooftops the first half of the day to working on residential split systems the second half. And it's a good mix. It's not the same repetitive residential or the same commercial stuff all the time.
That's nice. So how big is the company that you work for?
The main branch now, kind of where we all started, it's up to, I don't know, they probably have, I would say 30 field workers. And then they've, a pretty good office staff there. And then the branch that I work at now, it's smaller. There is 4 people out in the field and then 3 office people. We got an office staff of 3 people. Nice.
So we got a few questions for you in the chat. One is, so what kind of equipment are you seeing? So residential is kind of, we know that. Some of the commercial stuff, and you said some industrial, what are some of the kinds of equipment that you're seeing out there?
Yeah, commercial stuff, a lot of rooftops, some industrial stuff we work on. Like today, we worked on a little process chiller. which was pretty cool. Actually, I hadn't got to do one of those yet or see one of those yet. So it was nice to at least see one and kind of see how they operate and stuff. And then in the wintertime, we call them, I think the correct name for them is air turnover units. There's the pretty much giant makeup air units that some factories do work at. So that's kind of the most that we do for like industrial stuff. There is supply fans. They're just factories that are taking out so much exhaust air, bringing in a bunch of supply air. They have a crap load of filters in them that we have to wash every year. So we do those. And yeah, for the commercial stuff, mainly the rooftops. And then occasionally there will be a regular split system at a commercial facility.
Nice.
And then residential, we have a lot of heat pumps where I'm at, boilers, and then there's a lot of geothermal units around us too.
Yeah, so that's kind of like me, even though you're more north than I am. Yeah, it's kind of the same way here. Do you guys see any steam? If you're out in a rural area, you probably don't see much steam then, right?
No, there's a church close to us. There is a steam boiler there, but we don't mess with it. There's a older guy, one of the owner's dads works for the company, just kind of, he's pretty much retired, but he'll come in and work on stuff like that. But me personally, I don't do steam and don't really want to mess with it. I know that stuff can be kind of dangerous. So
yeah, hot water boilers water boilers, not hot water. If they were already hot water, you wouldn't need to boil. It's kind of like hot water heaters.
Yeah.
I corrected myself. But water boilers and steam are totally different, so I get it. We don't work on steam here either. Most of them are in the city of Baltimore, which anybody knows this area. You don't want to be working in the city of Baltimore. It's no fun. Plus, it's just, I always say I'm a numbers guy. People lie, numbers don't. And the odds and the value that you get back from in there, it just doesn't make sense. So we do the outskirts, kind of where the money is, more consistent work, stuff like that. But steam, if you mess those things up, man, that thing can turn into a bomb real fast. And people don't realize that, not that you can't mess yourself up on a regular water boiler, but it's a lot different when it comes to steam. And I learned some things out the hard way. A steam boiler, which has nothing to do with steam, is why I have fake teeth. Me and the guy were trying to break something loose with a big ass pipe wrench. He was pushing, I was pulling, and my hand slipped off and it smacked me right in the face.
Oh, man.
Yeah, one of the most painful things ever. It really sucked. So 2 questions. 1, are you riding around by yourself doing things? Or are you kind of with somebody? Or how are they working that in?
Yeah, so right now at the main branch when I was working, we would ride around. We would have younger guys come in. They would ride around with us on residential calls and stuff to get some training in. Up here, for the most part, I'm riding around by myself on the stuff that I can handle. Now, if it's something huge like that I've never seen before, then my boss is going to come on site with me and walk me through it. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's something to, I kind of know when to stop, I guess, or I know when I'm not comfortable with something to know when to make that phone call to him and be like, hey, you need to get out here. I don't feel comfortable with this, or I don't want to mess this up any more than it already is.
That's awesome. It sounds like you work for a good company then, because a lot of these younger guys get thrown to the wolves and they end up leaving the trade, which sucks, is they're good young people. Right. Men and women, you got to be shown how to do things, and sometimes the best way to learn is hands-on. Not right. Sometimes the best way to learn is hands-on. Sure. It's good to have the theory, but so far, what has been your favorite? Out of all the stuff you've worked on, you've been like, oh, this is awesome. I really like working on this. Or a certain part of it, electrical, the refrigeration, however you want to take it.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I like commercial units. I like being able to get up on a roof by myself and not have a customer lurking over me, or not that I don't mind answering their questions. I just like to be alone so I can think and process everything. I like working on air conditioners more. I feel like the refrigeration cycle and all that stuff, it's a lot easier. There's so much more that can go into a furnace. You got all these safety switches and stuff, combustion. I just feel like ACs are so much simpler. Even if it's a little split system, there's only so many things that it can be. Once you go down the line and get everything checked off, it's a lot easier than a furnace can be multiple things in one service call. Not that an AC can't, but I don't know. I like working on air conditioners better. They're just a lot simpler. But definitely commercial calls, just because, I can get away up on the roof by myself and just do my thing and not have to worry about, a customer or something hounding me with stuff or over my shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, and also when you first start, because, 3.5, 4 years in, you may not have like the total confidence yet And when you have a customer behind you, like, I get it. It makes you nervous. And the more you do it, that sense of, I got this, like, I don't
For
give a
sure.
fuck who's watching. Like, that just comes as you go. And most people, to be honest, starting out, I think do feel more comfortable in air conditioning because it is relatively simple. The basics are kind of easy to learn, which is good.
Yeah.
One thing that I always tell people starting out, man, don't ever stop learning. Don't ever get to the point where I see too many good techs. They learn just enough to be dangerous and then they stop. 20-something years in the trade, man. There's people in this chat that know way more than I know. I keep trying to learn. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
you don't ever reach the pinnacle. But once you get with gas furnaces, like, really, when it comes to heat, gas furnaces are cake. Once you learn them, like, we teach our guys, IPIG. It's kind of a little acronym that, it's always inducer, pressure switch, igniter, gas valve. To kind of know the sequence of operations. Anything in this field, if you know how something works, then you can fix it because, the sequence of operations, you can, okay, it should be doing this and it's not.
For sure.
Okay, why? Do I have power going to my hot surface igniter? Okay, I don't. Why don't I have power? Is the board messed up? You know what I mean? So it's cool to get in there and, learn all those kind of things. And it's awesome to learn in the field. That's what was awesome coming up with my dad is we worked for a big restaurant chain. So I did all commercial air conditioning, kitchen equipment, refrigeration, and they didn't know what we were doing. So I could blow up a fucking compressor in front of the restaurant owners and they didn't know. Only my dad did. I used to be nervous when they were around and my dad was like, what are you nervous for? They don't know what the fuck we're doing. I'm the only one who knows. He's like, do what you got to do. And like, I was naturally good at wiring. Like, I don't know. I just kind of took to wiring and low voltage wiring. Like, I don't know. It was something I was naturally good at. Other things I felt like I had to force myself to be better at. Like, reading schematics. I sucked at reading schematics. Trying to learn on my own. I'm like, what the fuck? This doesn't. Where does this go? And residential is not that big of a deal. Like, you can get away not being able to read schematics in residential, but commercial, that's a different story. Because you can't say, oh, follow the blue wire. There could be fucking 50 blue wires.
Right.
51, 52, 53, 54. That's one thing. What are people saying? Oh, Jennifer Manzo. And hello, some people I saw come in. Mr. Hughes, man. What is up, brother, man? And Brett, I saw you come in. What's up, bro? Jennifer said, wiring is what I do most too, Gil. Jimmy, I am a peon compared to Gil. That's not true at all. That's not a true statement. I love everything. Brett, who does the Advanced Refrigeration Podcast, like, when it comes to that refrigeration stuff and the big stuff, he's a fucking whiz on that, man. He teaches the kind of stuff, So that's why I love this show, man. I've been able to have friends like this that I can talk to. And these people, some of them are like, masters in what they do. They're really good at these things that I don't. I mean, I may know enough about it to have a conversation, but I don't know it in detail like these guys know. So it's good to have those friends, man. And that's awesome. I really, really love hearing that your company, like, the people come out and help you. Like, that's just, as an older head in the field, that makes me feel good that companies are like that. So I definitely give props to your company for doing that. Somebody said, can he see the chat? Can you see the chat, bud?
Yeah.
Please, if you have questions, try to put it in all cap. And sometimes Facebook, because of Restream, doesn't say who you are. So if you wouldn't mind saying your name at least once so I know who I'm talking to. I apologize about that. That's why I tell people going over to YouTube is the easiest. It doesn't have all those stupid BS things like Facebook puts on it. Looks like some guys were trying to ask you questions. Blogger, it's great to know everything. All right, so Mr. Nathan over on Facebook says, how old are you, Jordan?
I'm 25. I'll be 26 in July.
Oh, you're a baby. Personal, I mean, are you like married, got your own house, kids? Like, how's that side of it?
Yeah, so we just celebrated our first wedding anniversary earlier in the month.
Nice.
No
man.
kids yet, just an English bulldog. So kids will be coming soon, but just the bulldog for now. But
Baby.
Yeah, we've been together 6 or 7 years, so.
That's awesome, dude. Good for you. Because I know sometimes this trade, it can also be different, like, depending on what your marital status is. Because sometimes, you got to work a lot of hours. So sometimes you got to have a strong spouse. Whether nowadays, we have women kicking ass in this trade, Miss Jennifer Manzo is one of them. Obviously, she owns the company, but her and her husband are still out doing shit. this takes a lot of hours. I know it stressed mine and my wife's relationship out a lot because I was out there trying to make that money, you know. They're like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
man, we got overtime. Anybody want to do it? Got it. No
Yeah.
problem. They want to bitch about running it. I'll do it.
For sure, yeah. No,
so
it's definitely. I think it was Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve this past winter. It got super cold here. You know, that's just one of those deals. You know, people have to have heat. So that's definitely, you run into those situations, I feel like. And you're right, you do have to have a strong spouse that knows, you know, there's just certain seasons that you're going to have much more hours. And then there's certain seasons that are going to slow down for you and you'll have more time together. And the overtime thing, I did the same thing. I always felt, you know, if my bosses would ask me if I had an opportunity that I could run a call that came in, and nothing that they did that made me feel this way, but I always felt obligated, like I needed to take that call. And now, you know, having a couple more years in the trade, now I don't mind saying no just because I know I've worked so hard through the week. I'll take 1 or 2 calls on the weekend if I'm not on call, unless someone is really overbooked. And then the rest of that weekend's mine. You have to know your limit and know when to stop, especially if it's super hot out, super cold out. You have to have that mental time for yourself, that mental break to be able to prepare for the next week or, you know, whatever it is.
it's good that you learned that lesson at an earlier age because I was the same way. I would always say yes. And as long as you have a good company who doesn't take advantage of you, but sadly, some owners and managers will be like, oh, this guy always says yes. Gil will do it, you know, Jordan will do it. So
Yeah.
you definitely do. You need to have your time off. You earn that. Don't expect anybody to work 7 days a week. It's just, that's not the way it works. It's just be present when you're home. This job can be mentally and physically taxing on a person, you know, and you got to be able to go home and let off some steam and spend time with your family and realize, you know, what the fuck you're doing this for. You know,
For sure.
we may love what we do, but we all do this for that paycheck at the end of the week. You know, we're not doing it for free.
For sure, yeah. That's something I didn't realize going into it, how mentally and physically taxing it can be. Like I said, I didn't go to trade school, so I don't know if they talk about that. But we've got a younger guy that's working with us now. He's going through a program at a smaller college. It's like community college, technical college, close to us. That's one thing. I still remember his first day on the job. I was helping out on an install, and it was an attic job, and it was stupid hot outside. And he's like, yeah, they didn't talk about this. I had no idea that we would be doing stuff like this. It's real early in the summer, you know, like, yeah, dude, this isn't anything yet. There's a lot more of this to come. So,
yeah. Well, I feel like some of those schools are just trying to get money. That's the problem. And they don't say that. That's why I love if you go back and watch some of the actual videos and you see it with Jimmy, HVAC teacher, like his school, like it's hands-on. These guys know what they're getting into. Like you're going to be in the elements. Like it's
Right.
great being able to check something sitting at a table in an air conditioning or heated room, but it's different when you're out in the middle of the summer and it's hot and you're sweating or you're freezing your nuts off when it's wintertime. Like the elements are
sure.
a big factor in what we do. And also in your van, you know, your van is your humble abode because you're in it so much. That is your office. And
Right.
it was hard, man, because when I made my progression into management and stuff like that, I always say this, I thought it was the next chapter that I was supposed to go to. But at first, it sucked. I hated it. I hate being in the office. It was like the clock was going tick, tick, tick. I would hurry up and do stuff and find reasons to go back in the field. Like I had to learn to do that. And now I love it because I love the teaching part. I love being there for my guys, being able to get them what they need to be successful. Like that's the kind of stuff I love. I don't like the business side. That sucks.
sure.
That's the headache I don't want to deal with, but it's part of the job. So let me ask you this, and I like to ask younger people this. Where would you like to see yourself like in the next 15, 20 years? Like own a company, be a manager, like whatever it is. Like where would you like to see this industry take you?
Yeah. If you would have asked me a year and a half ago, I would have said, I want to own my own business. Now, you know, after seeing the company open another branch and seeing, you know, the headache that goes with that, I don't think I want any part of that. And, you know, setting up insurance and all that, buying vans and everything. I really like teaching guys stuff, you know, someone that's super young. So I think, you know, ultimately I'd want to get into like a service manager role or something, not to be like management. Cause I'm the same way. I'll go out and help an install or something. And I don't have the satisfaction of fixing something. I need to be able to fix something or to work on something and service it. So I don't think I ever want to fully be out of the field. But I do like helping people that call and ask for questions, or younger guys, showing them the ropes and showing them how to be better than me, showing them everything that I know and stuff like that. So ultimately I would say something in management, but not really for like the management purpose, just helping guys out and making sure they don't get into crap positions and stuff. Because I think no matter what, you're always going to get into crap positions. It's not always the company's fault. They can't prepare you for every position. But if I can help younger people and tell them about the experiences that I've had and prepare them for that, it's going to be easier for them. They're going to be prepared for that, and then they're going to have their own bad experiences that they can pass on to someone else, and just help people prepare for what's to come. So
that's awesome, brother. That says a lot about you, especially saying that you want to help younger other people, being 25 and already being newer in the trade. Don't ever lose that, because this is another thing I've said a million times. You don't really know something till you have to teach it to somebody else. So by you showing other people things, it's going to make you better. So you're doing a good deed, making you a good person, which is fucking awesome, because we went through all of that too much where some people thought like showing somebody else how to do something was like making them vulnerable and they were going to lose their job, which is absolutely fucking stupid. Right now, the technicians hold all the cards in our industry. If you're a good tech, you're like a unicorn, you can name your price. So you showing somebody else is not a bad thing. So that's awesome that you do that. It's good. Keep being that way, man. And when somebody like your senior or elder, if they know something, if somebody knows something more, like ask questions. Don't be afraid to be like, hey man, like how did you figure that out? Like that's how we all learn. Real fast, I don't want to skip over some of these questions. So Mr. Plumber Payday said, plumber wanting to get into HVAC, any tips for beginner practice and study before starting with a company? To be honest, man, I would start, you can watch videos, reading books, and obviously if you're a plumber, like you're mechanically inclined, you know how to use tools. Learn the sequence of operations of things. You know what I mean? Like learn what everything's called. You can find some videos on different things, especially in the residential field. My good buddy Craig, Mr. AC Service Tech, awesome videos, man. Brian Orr, HVAC School, awesome videos. To be able to learn what all the parts are called, what they do, why they're there, learn the refrigeration cycle, and then learn the sequence of operations of things like a gas furnace and stuff like that. And then see if somebody will give you a shot. Because if you can be a plumber and do both, man, a lot of companies are doing both. You'll be a great asset to those guys, man. And there was another one in here real fast. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get to all your questions. Remember to put them in all caps. So I appreciate the people that did that. I'll try to save some time at the end to make sure that I get to them. Here's another one. Gil, for someone considering going into management, what is your advice to them? Love the podcast, man. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. So going into management, I'll be honest with you. When I was younger and in the field, I kept thinking, I want to be the boss. I want to be the one that tells people what to do and blah, blah, blah. I wanted to go into management for all the wrong reasons. And when I finally got into management, you start to realize that you went from working for the boss to when you become the boss, now you work for the employees. So I always promised myself that I would always be the boss or the manager that I never had. So when I got into those positions, my job is to train them, make sure that they're the best they can possibly be at what they do, give them all the resources that they need to be successful, to do the things that I ask them to do, whether that is a van, a uniform, truck stock, tools, whatever it is. I make sure they have everything they need to be able to do what I'm asking them to do, procedures, whatever it is, so that when something happens, they know exactly what to do. Because if I don't provide them with those things and they go out and fail, that's not their fault. That's my fault. That means I'm a horrible manager. And sometimes the X's and O's of what we do, the fixing something as a technician, that's the easy part, especially when you know what you're doing. It's the people is what kind of throws in the dips and the dodges and makes things hard. You have to know how to deal with people. And I always use the analogy when I was coaching youth sports. Some kids you had to pat on the ass, some kids you had to kick in the ass, but you had to know which one was which, because that kid that you need to kick in the ass, yelling at him is going to piss him off, fire him up, and let him go do it. The kid who needs to be patted on the ass, you yell at him, he's going to shut down. You have to know your people, know your employees, and don't ask them to do anything that you wouldn't do or haven't done. Even if you get a title, I'm the general manager of a multi-million-dollar company, I still had to earn each and every one of their respect. Okay? Respect is not given. So don't think, oh, hey, I'm the boss, that they're going to be like, yes, I'm boss. You still have to earn their respect. Once you earn it, then you got to keep it. So just know that. Management, sometimes you're not leaving, going home at the end of the day with physical pains because you're not in the field, but you're going to leave with headaches. You know what I mean? The mental pains are going to be there. So if you're going to go into management, I get it. That's a progression in your career, but make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and you understand what you're getting yourself into. So that is my biggest advice. The live chatting experience on Facebook is completely different from YouTube. Yes, it definitely is. Haji, thank you for being here again, buddy. That's why I tell most of the people, if you're going to watch it live, to go on YouTube. It's a lot simpler and easier. Some question. Gil, shops should consider cover text medical and their families. Yes. All right. From the technical standpoint, I think that, yes, they should do that. But from a business standpoint, it's expensive. Health insurance is not cheap. So it's a yes that definitely you should cover the technicians. So we cover our technicians and then we do 50% of their family. Should people do it? Yes. But just to be honest, it comes down to the cost of it, especially if they're providing good insurance. Sorry, buddy. I'm trying to make sure I don't question.
No, man, you're fine. No worries.
Hey, would you know when to start your own company when you have a lot of side work and can see it taking off? Just want to plan on owning my own company and just want more freedom. So, Jet, I advise people that they should start their own company. If you fail, so what? A lot of times you don't hear about the ones that fail, so it's not easy. Don't think it's easy. And don't think you're going to open up a company and make a shit ton of money, because you're not. You're probably going to make less money than when you work for somebody else in the beginning. But if you keep putting into the business, building the foundation, like we just say, when you're building a house, without a sturdy foundation, you start building, that fucking house is going to come crashing. Well, your business is the same way. Think of that metaphor. Keep reassuring the foundation, putting into it. Maybe you got to be a little bit cheaper in the beginning just to show people that you do really good work. And then as you get bigger, then you can start asking, what you're worth. Yes, it's good to have some side work because if you're gonna do it full time. I know a lot of people that start off doing it side work, building up consistent clientele, especially nowadays with the power of social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's a little bit easier. Your friends and family will come, which sometimes are the hardest people to deal with. But make sure that you have enough clientele or you build it up. Make sure you tell people and spread it. Start a Facebook page before you go live to start your own business and say, hey, I do HVAC. I'm going to go out on my own. If you guys would like to help me out, I'll give people, a free tune-up, or not free, but or you could still say free. And then if something's wrong, then you just get to pay for the parts or half price or whatever. Something to get your name out there and take the money. Hire a good bookkeeper and accountant. I've seen too many people, tax man comes and long dicks them because they didn't know what they were doing and it really messes you up. I almost did that with the podcast in the beginning and I know better. But if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to have this conversation with you personally. Email me at hvacuncensored@gmail.com and I can answer any questions. But definitely take that plunge. I think everybody should. I wish I would have done it years ago, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So there's definitely benefits to it, but it's not easy. Management sucks sometimes, but you have to be in their shoes for a while before you take the leap. Amen, Jen. Amen. Gil, are you reading questions from the Facebook feed or YouTube live feed? I'm doing both, Haji. They both come on the same one. I just couldn't get to all of them. So I love working for my husband. Hello, Miss Jessica. And Sam, what is up? Sam the man. How you doing, brother? Anyway, all right, enough of these questions. I'm sorry. Guys,
No, you're fine.
Yeah, at the end, I'll leave a couple of minutes and save your questions for then. Just make sure to put them in all caps. That way they stand out so I can get back to the interview because we're almost at an hour here. It's awesome, man. I mean, obviously, to praise them, would you say the name of your company? If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to.
I would. If I would have ran it by them, I would have.
Definitely.
I'll talk to them, and if they're good with it, I'll email you the name if you want to say it on your next podcast or something.
It's cool, but just tell them not that they give a fuck about who I am, but
Right.
it's awesome to hear that they're doing things right, dude. That's awesome. So touche,
Yeah,
my
for
hat goes off to the people running your company, man.
For sure.
That's really, really, really cool. What kind of CRM, what software are you guys using? How do you guys?
Oh yeah, we're digital. We do Service Titan.
Ooh, yeah. So that means your owner's ass probably hurts every day. Because service titan is a beast. Don't get me wrong. This is very, very expensive, but it does amazing things. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
Where I came from years ago, we used service titan and I loved it. Setting it up sucked balls, but it was awesome on the technician side.
Yeah, no, I love it. Everything's put in. I mean, I don't even remember what the old one was called that we used, but it's night and day difference. It's so much easier for us out in the field.
Yeah.
And we can go back at old calls too if we want to see a follow-up, like what something was quoted at or if something's been sent out. I mean, it's so much better. It's easy for us. So
yeah. And I love it because it keeps your numbers at the bottom. Like, you know exactly like revenue you're doing, how many calls you ran,
right.
all that kind of stuff. It gives you all that information. The fact that you can go back on calls. It's always been awesome for the tech side. The office side, setting it up sucks. Like, you have to have a person in there like 24/7. It does a lot of things, but it does a lot of things that you don't really need. So that's some of the complaints on the business side about them for what it cost. But you can print any report, I mean, that you can possibly imagine once you get into it. So it is, really, really awesome. What are you a dealer of? Like, what kind of equipment? Somebody buys a system from your company. What do you put in?
American Standard. And then we've got a private label system too, but we try to push the American Standard if we can.
Fucking Tran. Putting in a Tran. That's funny. This is one thing I want to ask. So in your area, does your utility company have like a HVAC company, plumbing company, stuff like that?
I guess kind of. Like if they'll go out and do like I don't even know what they call it, like an energy advisor meeting or something with the homeowner. And if the homeowner asks about like geothermals are real big right now, they've got a deal going on where you pay monthly on the loop through the energy provider instead of the customer paying us to put a loop in. They'll refer us like in this area. And there's another company in this area that they'll refer to. I don't think so. As far as like if they call the energy advisor for they have a no heat call or something. I don't know. I don't know if they refer us or not, to be honest with you. But I know like if they go out and they're saying stuff's outdated and needs updated or something, they'll refer people to us. We've definitely gotten referrals that way before.
That's cool because around here we have like, fuck it, I'll say them, even though they're a billionaire company or a $1 billion company. It's called BG&E, Baltimore Gas and Electric, which is now Constellation Energy, Constellation Home. And they have their own like service providing company. So they do plumbing, heating, electrical. And I ask that because personally, I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think it should be against the law. You shouldn't provide the regulated utility and then also be the one who comes fixing it. To me, that just seems like something's wrong there. And here, there's enough people for everybody, but I feel like they take a good chunk of customers from people because they can come outbid you. They're backed by a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We're not. We have to get our nut when we do a job or we're not going to have the doors open. So that's why I asked that, because I realize it's not like that everywhere. And that's awesome that you don't, because I think that should be against the law. They shouldn't be able to do that. Like what you're talking about, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Real fast. Good night, Jennifer. Thank you so much for coming. I think it said Ryan was leaving. So thank you, Hughes, man. I appreciate you, brother. Oh, so my friend Zeke, who's in Maryland, says it like on the back of their trucks, it says, we're not the same company as the regulated utility. So he put it's not the same company. They can say that all they want, but it's a crock of shit. When people used to be able to buy equipment and then put it on their utility bill, but you're not the same company. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's shady.
Yeah. Somebody said, Gil, what are you guys using at Beltway for service software? So we're still on House Call Pro. We've outgrown House Call Pro. I won't even lie. They were using that when I came over here a couple of years ago. We're definitely going to have to make a switch. There's one in my mind that I think we're going to go to. I've tried several of them, other companies, and being able to do the podcast. I've tested a whole bunch of different ones, but it's working, but we've definitely outgrown it. So probably after the summer, that'll be a conversation that we'll have. But I do say one of my sponsors of the show, FIELDPULSE, they're actually pretty awesome, man. And I was surprised because they're not one of the big boys. I didn't really hear about them. But I got that demo account that I fuck around in all the time. And the more I use it, the more I really like them, the more they're becoming an option. So I'm honest when I tell people that we don't use them. I'll never lie to you guys. But FIELDPULSE is pretty cool, so I definitely recommend checking them out. Their customer service is amazing. They've won awards for it, and it's really simple to use. So, and it doesn't break the bank like some of the other big boys do. So, something to think about. I wasn't trying to do a sponsor read here. They weren't on the list to go tonight, but just something to say. But I like Service Titan, and I also like Sarah. Sarah's another really, really good one. So, there's pros and cons to all of them, though. You got to find one that you like. That's what it comes down to. So I've had him, we're almost at an hour here. So if you guys have any, so check out ServMan. I will. I agree, blogger. I'm not a huge fan of House Call Pro. Trust me, I've been very vocal about it. But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I will say that they've added a lot of features here lately that I've been pleasantly surprised by, but it's not my first choice, second or third. So not affiliated, though. Oh, yeah, everybody said the same thing. Rookie ain't been in the trade that long, but he's old as fuck, though. Just kidding, Rookie. I love you, bro. That's why sometimes I should do these things live, man. These chats get me all. Normally, I don't pay attention, or I pay attention to them too much.
No, you're good, really.
I will say this, man. We still got a little bit, so we can still talk about some other things. But I do want to say this while we're live on air, man. You and your buddies, I appreciate you guys supporting the show and listening to it, man. I really, really do. And it's awesome that you've reached out to me. Other people listening to this, I wish more of you would reach out. Please come on the show. I'd love to hear your story, how you got into the trade and stuff like that. That's awesome. I love your guys' feedback. And even some of the feedback you gave me off air is good to know. You guys are my clientele, you know what I mean? So it's good to know what... I can't please everybody, but it's good to know what people listen to. So I appreciate you supporting the show and then going back and listening to old episodes. You'll hear how bad some of those sounds, especially when I was doing my own editing. Some of them are rough. We got a question from Mr. HVAC Blogger. He said, what motivates you, Jordan?
What motivates me? Obviously, providing for my wife and everything, having a good home to come home to at the end of the day. But I really like, helping people out, just knowing that I can go out and fix a piece of equipment and know that it's going to help somebody out, whether it's a business, a customer, residential customer, just knowing that I can help somebody out throughout the day. That motivates me, and just being better tomorrow than I was yesterday as a technician, as a person in the field. That honestly is what motivates me. So
that's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. I mean, just talking to you and hearing you talk, man, it sounds like you're a good dude. So your moral compass isn't fucked. Because trust me, there's some people that have come on here that their moral compass is so fucked up that, and it's pretty obvious. So, and it sounds like you definitely got a good head on your shoulders, which is good and will take you far in this career and in life in general, man. So that's awesome that you have that, because like I said, I think as you get more comfortable in what you do, that you won't be as bad. Customers behind you won't bother you as much. I'll tell you this, though. When you go out, even to a residential or commercial, you're the expert. They don't know how long you've been doing it. You're the expert. And if you're one of those people, even if you do know your shit and you don't like a customer standing over your shoulder, tell them that. Be like, hey, I'm going to figure out everything that's going on. Once I figure out what's going on, I'll come get you, and I'll be more than happy to explain everything to you. But if you wouldn't mind, if you could just give me some space to do what I got to do, and then I'll go over everything with you when I find out what's going on. Most people would be like, oh, okay. But if you don't say anything, we can't assume that they're like, oh, this guy's uncomfortable. So you always stay in charge. You're the expert. And I tell everybody this, just be thorough. Like in residential, I don't know if you guys... make money for bigger tickets or whatever it is. But if you do that honestly, then you can make really, really good money on that side. Just be honest, be thorough. Tell the customer everything that you see is not the way the manufacturer intends it. Let them decide what they're going to do. Don't do it by your own wallet, and don't be like, oh, I can just change this capacitor and I'll leave. Be thorough. Do a good job. I said every show, set yourself apart from the next guy. I always want our guys, and the way I tell the customer everything that I see. If they decide, hey, I don't really have the money or I don't want to do all that, I just want to do this, hey, no problem. That's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to beat you up and take your wallet. You know what I mean? So just always remember that.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got to let them know, because if not, I've learned, I've been burnt by it. If you don't tell them everything, then they're going to call back in, and it's going to be your fault if that unit craps out again in a week or two or something. You touched it last, it's your baby. So I've learned that the hard way. So
yeah, everybody has that aha moment, man. You learn as you go, but customers and even business owners, they value their time.
Mm-hmm.
They rather you take a little bit more time once than come back twice, because the second time now they're pissed off. Why didn't this guy do it the first time? Blah, blah, blah. I always say it. We all have it in the residential where you go up and the customer comes out like, oh, the problem's outside. Problem's outside.
Sure.
And you go out, you change the capacitor, you leave. The guy calls in the next day like, Gil was just out here and the fucking AC's not working. You go downstairs and the fucking drain's clogged, the filter's dirty. You know what I mean? Like that's why I tell people, be thorough. And the more that you have a process that you do consistently on every single call, then you start to have that consistent result. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you're not just winging it. You're doing the same thing every time. So
for sure. Yeah, we've got a coaching company, and they'll come in and talk to us and stuff. And they talk about, they call it SOP, standard operating procedures. And if you follow a process, it makes it that much easier for you. You're not getting out of rhythm and slipping up. If you follow that process, everything falls into place on 90% of your calls. You're going to have the bad customer here and there. It's just part of it.
That's awesome. Who are you guys using for coaching?
BDR.
Oh, yes. That's fucking amazing. BDR. They've been on the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good shit. Yeah, they're good. Adam, that's awesome. Well, I won't keep you too much longer, man. We started a little late, but we're at an hour. I guess I'll leave it open now. If anybody has any questions that I missed, if you would like to ask them now, please put them in all caps, and I will do my best to answer questions here for the next few minutes. And also, if you have questions for Jordan, by all means, please do that. That's awesome, Outlaw, that you made yourself a template. That's fucking awesome. Good idea. We do that for our techs. We provide that to them. It's something that I want them to do on every single one, because our maintenance is, I want them to be like an hour. Reliable. What's up, Adrian? How you doing, brother? He's another one, man. If you check out podcasts, Reliable HVACR, I don't know if you listen to it. His podcast is good.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his YouTube stuff. I haven't watched the podcast yet, but I definitely watch all of his YouTube stuff. So
nice. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Adrian puts his stuff out audio-wise, too. And then my friends Jen and Hughes, man, they're misfits of HVAC Saturday nights. I don't know if they put the audio out or not, but I know the video's there. And then obviously my buddies HVAC Overtime on Friday nights. I know they put their stuff out in audio version. And theirs is just like guys talking around, having a conversation. It's not really like an interview style, but it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go. We got a question. It says, at Jordan, oh, you're up. Any particular areas within HVAC that really get you jazzed up? Like, do you have any plans to specialize or focus on something specific in the future? I think you kind of answered this already, but I'll let you take it again.
Yeah. So besides, I guess I'll specify, besides, helping people grow and stuff, if it was something technically, I'd really like to get into like low voltage controls, those air turnover units I was talking about. They have a pretty intricate control system, and we have to call a controls company in to go through that side of things. And that's always been interesting to me, is the control stuff. And some of the other commercial places we go to have got some control stuff. So that's something I haven't really messed around a whole lot with. So on the technical side, I'd really like to get in and try to master controls and, add that to the arsenal.
Awesome. That's cool. To be honest, that's somewhere, like I said, I always liked the wiring side of it, and I was just naturally good at it. That's something I could have saw myself doing. So
I do like the electrical side. Like you said, schematics, that was a pain for me too, but electricity kind of came easy when I got into the trade. So I kind of like that side of it. So I could see myself doing controls and trying to get more into that too.
Sweet. You have like a take-home van?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice. What kind of vans you got?
Ford Transit.
Okay.
The
cool.
tall roof.
Yeah.
I started out in a Transit Connect, the little, it's not even like a minivan, dude, like the little van. I hated that thing, but
we have one. But the only thing we use that for is when me, Ryan, the owner, when we go out to do something, we got some stuff on there for us to run around. But yeah, I couldn't work out of one of those.
That sucked, man.
Yeah, so we have some of the Dodge ProMasters, and we have some of the Ford Transit high roofs or mid or whatever.
Yeah.
Because during COVID, vans were hard to find. So
I think we waited like over a year for some vans during that whole COVID thing. Like we purchase them. They just weren't here yet. So
Yeah, we paid 65 grand a pop for 3 fucking
wow.
for transit. Granted, there were some perks in there, and they're nice vans and all that kind of stuff, but we had to have them, and we're growing so fast. We'll take either one. We were on the Dodge kick there for a while, and they all have their own issues. Like the brand new Fords, they're 2022s now, but had callbacks and recalls and shit, but it's all free. You just take them back and take care of it. But you guys now being able to work out of these ones you can stand up in, you'll never... the old Ford, kind of like the E-Series or the Chevy vans, those, like, you don't realize having that extra shelves or extra couple of shelves makes you can organize your vans so much better. It's amazing. I loved having those vans to work out of because I am anal as far as my van is never dirty. Like, if you came and worked with me, like you started in my company and they were like, hey, you're going to ride with Gil. The first day, I could be like, hey, man, go grab this. Go in the back door. It's the second shelf up, the third bin over. You know what I mean? Like, I know exactly where my stuff is. Nothing I hate it more than knowing I have it, but not being able to find it. And I can't help a customer because I don't know what the fuck I did with it, or it's under a pile of shit or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. Rookie, big props to Gil. Fixed all the errors on the banner. Kiss my ass, Rookie. Sorry, it defaulted before. It got messed up. You get the point. Fucking grammar police in my fucking chat. Jesus. I don't think Chevy's ever going to make the high top ones, man. I wish they would, but I don't think they're going to. All right, everybody. I'm going to close this out. If I see another question come up, maybe I'll answer it. But Jordan, thank you so much, man, for coming on. Like I said, thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate you reaching out and coming on. Something changes in your career or whatever it is, man, hit me up. I'd love to have you come on and hear about it. Some of your buddies, tell them to get some testicles and email me. They can come on too.
Yeah,
Don't be nervous. Sure. I won't bite. I'm an asshole, but I'm a nice asshole, No,
I tried. One of them, actually, he'd probably be a good story too. He service tech switched to install, actually. So kind of opposite what you usually hear. And I tried, so I don't know. We'll push him and see what we can do. So,
yeah, tell him to reach out, man. Keep telling people to download the podcast. So I'll take it.
For sure, man.
So, yeah, thank you for coming on, buddy. I appreciate you. If you want to hang tight, I'm going to go ahead and close the show out, my man.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. If people wanted to follow you or something like that, what are you, Instagram, Facebook? What's that?
Shoot, it's personal accounts. It's at Jordan Austin 23 on Instagram. So, and it's nice. It's old, like high school pictures, no HVAC stuff. So it probably needs updated, but if they want to find it, that's where it's at. Nice.
I'll check it out. I'm going to creep on your Instagram here later. So
for sure.
To get some weird hearts, it was me.
Yeah.
So, all right, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Hang tight, my man.
Thank you.
Well, man, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy. I love shows like this, man, when it's people who listen to the show and they're in the trade, and then I get to hear their story about how they entered and the fact that they just support me. Like, that's awesome, dude. So big shout out to Jordan. He sounds like a really, really awesome dude. Got his head on his shoulders, and his moral compass is good. You all know, man, we've had some people on here that have had to bite my tongue because their moral compass is fucked every which way from Sunday. He definitely didn't have that. So I think he's going to be one of the good ones in the trade who ends up, being in here, being a lifer and doing this the right way, doing things the right way, and being in the field for years to come. So I love to see that. Sounds like his company is doing things the right way, which that is awesome. Like I always say, man, I still think, in my heart of hearts, I still think that there's more companies out there doing things the right way than the wrong way. I would just like to believe that. So something like that makes me feel a little bit better knowing that company I've never heard of, I know nothing about until I just met Jordan, is out there doing the right things, treating their young techs, giving them the resources to be successful. So that's awesome for his company. Like I said, my hats off goes to them. Not that I give a fuck about what I have to say, but my hats goes off to them for doing the right thing. So touche. Yeah, guys, man, make sure that you are downloading the podcast, that you follow me on the social media sites. It really, really helps me to get this out to more and more people. It keeps this podcast growing. We've had a bunch of growth in the last 5 years, but let's not stop. Let's keep getting it out and getting it out. I still do have a lot of things to come, a lot of things that I'm doing behind the scenes with Bluon. I just can't talk about them yet. I will drop this on you. I do have another show that's being created with some people going to get all that stuff made, and then you'll start seeing some things come out about that. It's going to be under my network, so it's going to be under my umbrella, but it's going to be a totally different show. So I think you guys are going to like that. Change the flavor here a little bit. So a lot of things coming. It's just been a little slow, man. You guys know I'm going through some things at home, taking care of mama, making sure that she's good. So some of these things have been delayed as far as when I want them to come out, but they are all coming. And I'm trying to do another giveaway here soon for all you guys. Got some things coming in that I'm going to try and working on right now so I can have some giveaways for you guys. Some videos coming, so make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm probably going to put some on here on YouTube as well. If you saw my Instagram, I got the RLS stuff, like I said earlier. So I'm going to make some videos using that. So make sure you like and share to those. All right. I think that's about it. Please, if you would not mind, if you like it, if you could go give me a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. So whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever it is, if you wouldn't mind giving me a 5-star review, I would greatly appreciate that. That's one of the analytics that the apps are looking for now. So that would really mean the world to me. And like I said, make sure you subscribe so that it automatically downloads. That's what pays the bills around here and gets me to be able to buy tools and give them to you and ask these people to do all these things to be able to give back to you guys is because of those downloads. That's a big thing. So if you could do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. A lot of you guys that don't like Facebook, I don't blame you. I really don't. I'm not asking you to join my HVAC Uncensored group. I know that that group gets a little harsh, and I don't blame people for not wanting to join that. But if you wouldn't mind on Facebook going and liking or following the podcast page, so the business page, HVAC Uncensored Podcast, I'm trying to get some of those numbers up on that. So if you have not already done that, if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Enough asking you guys to do things for me. Miss Susie Q is on here. Hello, Miss Susie. Did you say she's on here? I didn't see her. Anyway, let me close this out. I got a big mouth. Guys, be safe out there, all right? We all got somebody to make it home to. Make it home the same way that you left, all right? Keep your head on the swivel when you're driving on the road. Be cautious of other drivers. Messing with electricity, double check and make sure the breaker's off. You know, refrigerant burns, whatever it is, just be careful. Make sure you get sleep at night. You got a clear mind. You're eating healthy. You know what I mean? So that you're not out there destroying yourself or you're half tired because you didn't sleep the night before and you end up making a mistake that cost you your life. All right? Be careful. And I say that not to go off track here again. You guys know I live outside of Baltimore and I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. So I'm in some of the Ravens little chat groups. And there was a guy, Chucky, who was well known in some of these groups as far as like not him personally, but you knew him in the groups. And a few days ago, he made a post saying that this was the last post you'd ever see. Come to find out, he ended up committing suicide. And you guys know how many podcasts that I've done about mental health. And I didn't even know the guy personally, and it still breaks my heart for him and his family. So take care of yourself, your minds and your bodies. You guys know if I'm here if you need me. And if you need help, ask for it, all right? If you're suffering, reach out to somebody, all right? I still suffer with mental health to this day, but it's something you can deal with, you can live with, and you can get by, okay? I do not want to hear something like that about one of you. Whether I know you personally or not, it would fucking absolutely break my heart and kill me to hear that that would happen to one of you. So if you have a situation, you're going through mental health and you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. And if I can help you, please email me, private message me. Nobody has to know. That's between me and you, confidential. I'll help you in any way that I possibly can. All right? On from that, remember, do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy. All right? Try to learn. Always try to be better. All right? Master your craft. In the words of my good friend, Mr. Ben Poole from HVAC Tactical, keep raising the bar for yourself. Whether it's a book, a podcast, an online class, YouTube video, whatever it is, keep making yourself better. All right? And then last but not least, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I will forever be grateful. And until next week, I'll talk at you mofos later. All right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
And real fast, thank you to all of my moderators who come here. Rookie, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for always being by my side, always being here. Mr. Reliable, Mr. Zeke, who was here, Mr. Hughes, man, and Coolin with Kraus. Thank you guys for being here. Didn't have any issues, but thank you guys for taking that role and doing that for me. I really, really appreciate you guys.
Now have a good night and kiss my ass, motherfuckers.